Okay, Jaden, you're on.
Good afternoon, and thank you for the warm welcomes from everybody on the board. My name is Jaden Manuel, for those of you that do not know me. I'm from Royal Palm Beach High School, and I serve as president of the Student Councils of Palm Beach County. And I am super excited to have been given this opportunity to serve as this school year's student representative. We will be hosting our first County Student Council meeting next Thursday, August 29, 2019, to discuss business between schools and projects that they are working on for the upcoming school year. We have received RSVPs from 14 middle schools and high schools and are expecting over 250 SGA students to be president. My mission this year is to increase the participation at these meetings by the schools within our county. With the increased participation at the meetings by the schools, we can set up a system of networking between the schools to pass on ideas that better each individual school, their communities, and Palm Beach County as a whole. By doing this, I hope that the leaders of each of these schools find something that needs to be addressed within their respective schools, voicing their concerns to me so that I can then address it all to you here at the school board. Thank you.
Thank you, Jaden, and just want to forewarn you that in future meetings, Mr. Shaw is going to ask you a question. So you might want to look at some past board meetings and figure out what that question is, because he's going to put you on the spot. I also understand that Mr. Shaw, why don't you, because you remember better than I, Chelsea Riddle.
One of the things we found out tonight, Mrs. Riddle, would you please stand up? This is Chelsea Riddle, who is his teacher advisor, and she was our student government representative 5 years ago, I believe. So thank you for being here. So.
Thank you, Jaden. The Academic Advisory Committee, do we have a report here tonight? Ms. Feldman?
Good evening.
Good evening.
The Academic Advisory Committee met last Monday night, where we heard two presentations. With one was an update about the safety, and the other was an instructional review. In the safety update, we heard information about a number of initiatives, including threat assessment process and the hiring of behavioral health professionals, so that there is minimally one such professional per school. We learned that some of the behavioral health professionals recently hired were not credentialed enough to provide all of the services. For example, those would specifically relate to therapy. These uncredentialed staff are, not able to provide therapy. They are able to provide some of the other services. We also learned that the hiring decisions were school-based, and the schools might be able to have other staff provide those services instead of these new hires. Committee members were concerned about a few aspects of this. We asked the staff to bring back answers to the following questions. Which schools do not have the sufficiently credentialed behavioral health professionals to provide all services? Which of these schools are Title I schools? And which schools have the highest frequency of emotional behavior disorder students? And which schools have reports of most disruptions in education, for example, like suspension or other behavioral disciplinary issues, so that we can cross-reference both of those lists? And which services are offered at each school, including counseling groups, therapy, and programs like We Dine, so that we can see, despite who has been hired, that these needs are being met. During the instructional review, a committee member asked about details regarding what the district is doing to differently raise our third grade reading scores. And we heard that work is being done to reorganize content, scope, and sequence to increase rigor, and professional development as well. There were discussions about how helpful academic tutors have been found to be to help work with small group instruction, but that there's been some difficulty growing this program to make it a larger scale across the district. And there was a question also about the iReady program and whether, how that effective has been, and what's being worked on with that. So there's a pilot project, we understand, that's working with Harvard and 10 schools to work on that specific issue. And we also talked about the EduData school grades, and the new SEQ resources to schools, which got a very positive reception. And at the end of our meeting, a few committee members brought up some questions regarding the implementation of the statute, I believe it's 1003.42, regarding Holocaust education, the contributions of women to American society, the contributions of Hispanics to American society, and the African American history and contributions to American society. So those questions, we're hoping we can tackle both of these issues, those questions and the ones I mentioned earlier, in upcoming meetings.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Ms. Feldman? Thank you very much, appreciate
Could
it.
I just add in one thing? So the statute, just to clarify a little bit, one of the questions would be, what is the school district currently doing in terms of the curriculum associated with those topics? How are we publicizing that information to our communities to make sure that they know what we are doing? And how are we evaluating the effectiveness of what we are doing? Thank you.
Thank you. The next committee that would report tonight would be audit. They don't have a report, but I want to advise the board that Mr. Silver, the chairman of the audit committee, who has been on the audit committee for 25 years, called me and said he was going to be resigning from the audit committee because of he's going to be traveling quite a bit and feels that he won't be able to attend the meeting. So I'll be bringing a name forward for all of you as soon as I identify somebody to fill Mr. Silver's very large shoes. He's been a great addition to that and has served us well. Construction Oversight Review Committee, Mr. Doctor.
Chairman, Barberry School Board members, Dr. Fenoy, staff. My name is Lou Doctor. I'm here representing your Construction Oversight Committee. We met last Thursday morning and reviewed 4 items that are on your agenda for this evening. First one was FC1, which is approved contingency. As you know, CORC reviews contingency items that are collected during the course of the year. We had some questions on some of them. The staff did an excellent job of answering the questions and clarifying it. We drove them crazy, but they had all the answers. And we recommended that that go forward by a vote of 9-0. The next one was PC1. It's our pre-qualified vendor list, where we pre-qualify vendors for insurance, licensing, and make them eligible to bid on contracts for us. We had 1 new vendor and 4 renewal vendors, and that moved forward on consent. Second one, PC2 Design Services, is a long time coming. With your approval, this will authorize the design of the new West Palm Beach Lake Worth High School. We've owned the land for I don't know how many years. It's going to take 45 acres on Lyons Road. The proposal went through the normal proposal system you have. Architects were solicited. The search committee narrowed it down to 3 finalists. The 3 finalists gave presentations. They picked the lead one. They negotiated a satisfactory price, and they presented the package to us. It was an excellent package. It's interesting to note that there were several options in it that the architect should consider in doing his job to make sure that we have the total coverage for the school. Make sure that Lyons Road is adequate to handle the traffic from the school, looking into a traffic light at the appropriate place, making sure the lift stations can handle the sewage that's going to be added in that particular area. It's certainly going to eliminate the overcrowding of high schools in that area. It's going to give your boundary committee some work to do. We recommended that it go forward by a vote of 8-0. The third one is the Pahokee High School. It had planned to have its roof repaired at the appropriate time, and your staff reported the extent of the leakage was greater than they had anticipated. They didn't want any mold developing in the school, and they're moving up that project to do it now, which is certainly an appropriate time. 4 vendors bid on it. They selected a low-price vendor who's fully qualified for the job, and we recommended that that go forward by a 9-0 vote. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions for Mr. Doctor? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We appreciate all your efforts on our behalf.
Thank you.
That takes us to elected officials and delegates